All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone joining. Welcome to the Monday Morning Coach Show. And I'm your host, Willie Snyder, joined with King James Stallcup. King James is our college guru expert who's going to do college breakdown. I'm going to tackle the old NFL over here and tell you right away, Broncos are back, baby. We got it, man. So I think if we play like that, we could be a potential playoff team. I don't know that the AFC West is that strong, man. I don't know. The AFC West never been strong in the past few years, but we'll see. Chargers are actually looking pretty decent, so you know, we'll see, man. I mean, like I say, any given Sunday, it could happen.
Well, you never know. It's like I say, it just sort of goes weekly. Things change here and change there, and uh, it's fun. I just Saturday I left to go to watch the Longhorns play
Oh
their night
yeah,
game against
forgot to give
Louisiana
you the old hook 'em
Monroe.
horns.
Hey,
Everyone give them the old hook 'em horns.
I got a lot of people that are messaging me. You freaking dog! You were there with Manning starting the game, and I was like, "Yeah, we had a good time." We actually left here about 11:30, drove down there. Of course, we always got to stop at Buc-ee's, and people live in Texas know it's the biggest convenience store, gas
Oh
station.
yeah, we just got a Bucky's here.
Oh, did you?
Uh
Oh, all right.
oh. What do we got? We got the old freaking snooper
Uh
up in the house. Oh, Daniel's looking for the quiz. Got the old Jaws coming up in here.
But
Uh,
we got there and stopped at Bucky's. Of course, had to get some beaver nuggets and some beef jerky on the way there. And then we got there, man, we got there like 3, 4 hours early. And we met two people. They picked us up over at a Walmart parking lot so we wouldn't have to pay double parking because it was $65 just to park. So then we had to walk about a mile and a half to the game, and where we came in, we're on that side there where Bevo Boulevard was, and we got there early.
nice.
They already had people around the entrance where they would go into the stadium, and I took a video. I was like two people in front of me, 2 rows, and
Nice.
I had it up and was videoing everything where they were coming in, and then got to the game and everything was awesome. At the end of the third quarter, they do the light show inside, and everything goes dark, and orange lights up, and the Longhorn that they got cut into the end zone, it's got like an LED light that goes around the edge. It goes on and off and around it. And usually they do the drones up above with the Longhorn and all this other stuff, but it was a little bit windy, so they ended up not doing the drone. And we were like, "Oh man,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what we came for."
Oh
So
yeah.
you know what that means? We're just gonna have to make another trip.
There you go. Right on. No, and Daniel makes a good point. That when that Bucky's opened up here, it's like just right outside of Johnstown. That it was, dude. There was a line like all the way around the place. Like it's huge, dude. Like
Oh yeah, it
they
is.
have like, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I
y'all
guess
should know.
they have like barbecue in there and
Oh
everything.
yeah, yeah. You go get barbecue sandwiches. They got the sausage. They got the pork and the brisket, the pulled pork sandwiches, and uh, then they got all the different fudges you can get, every freaking type of jerky you can think. One of my favorite things, well, another thing I got a bag of the peach rings. Their peach rings are freaking awesome, man. And it's road trip, man. You got to get all them sweets and stuff. But as
There you
y'all
go.
know, it come from Texas, baby. Everything's bigger in Texas. Why do you think that store's
Sure.
so huge?
Yeah.
We live
Yeah.
up to
You
our
got.
reputation down here.
Yeah. You got a point there. Can't argue with that. A lot of people like to argue with you, but I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Uh, But you're gonna really like the meme. I made the meme this week, and it's the old Broncos got her going.
All right, let's throw her down.
That ship just imploded on Sunday. So, dude, I tell you what, I did not expect that. We are not good at like morning games. Broncos suck at morning games for some reason, especially on the East Coast. Like, dude, we were like 6-0 or something, and we went back there and just got stomped by the Giants. You know,
yeah.
and it was a morning game, and every single time I'm scared of morning games. Like, I'm like, oh man, morning game on the East Coast, we're done. But they played good. Like I say, we could kind of get some momentum off that. We keep driving in the third quarter. Like that was a big thing I saw was we didn't take our foot off the gas. You know, we just kept driving in the third quarter, putting up points, even though we weren't scoring touchdowns. They were keeping us out of the end zone. They weren't keeping the points on my freaking Bucks defense. Like I had Bucks defense in my fantasy. I just watched my points just go down. It's frustrating, but I did just find out that Cook just scored a touchdown. Actually, took the lead for me in fantasy. So
cool.
I'm up. I'm up in fantasies.
I got a question. The Buc-ee's y'all have there. Does it have 100 pumps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, y'all got a big one then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bunch of them around here, and I can't even think of one that doesn't have over 100 pumps.
Yeah.
We actually stopped at the one that was they put in Hillsboro on the way there. They also have another one in Temple right before you get there. We stopped at the Hillsboro one. Way we make sure we eat all of our snacks and everything before we got there. And man, it was freaking awesome, man. I mean,
yeah.
It was
I'm up by
crazy.
I'm up by 5. I started down by 2. I'm up by 5. I had a 27% chance to win. Now I have a 54% chance to win. So
good.
Just switch. So yeah. No, keep it up, Cook. Keep it up, Bills. Keep running that ball. I'm down for that. So.
Yeah, it was pretty good because we were at the game. I actually, they had big screens out there and everything, and I got to pick up the USC and Michigan game. We were watching that till the end, and
you called it. You called it on that one.
Yeah, everybody's like USC's going. I said I don't think so. I think Michigan will be on USC. I don't think they played somebody that's that tough. And what that showed is just. You know, they're very physical, but it shows how physical Texas really is. You know, so
big shout out to my brother Dave, man, go blue. So
I'm sure he was happy on that game.
Dude, did you see the CU Baylor game? Dude, that was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, that pass at the end. Yeah,
the Hail Mary. They said that Hail Mary was like 94, 95 era.
Yeah,
like.
The guy turned this way, and he just turned and dove right there and caught it right there. I was like, wow, man, lucky ass. That reminded me of Alabama last year winning that one game in the back of the end zone that they caught it.
Dude, they were all mad because since that was in CU and they all rushed on the field and everything, they're like, oh, dude, you don't do that in Boulder, man. Like, they're like, oh, well, you guys are going to get in trouble. You guys are going to get fined. But, I thought it was hilarious.
For one, that, why would you rush the field? You only beat Baylor. I mean, Baylor ain't like some top team you beat. I mean, you beat Alabama. Hell yeah, rush the field. You beat Georgia. You beat Texas. Rush the field. But Baylor? No. Come on.
They're like, and we got 72 tickets out of it. I'm like, why would you do that in Boulder? Like, dude, I work in Boulder, dude, and it's like you don't do nothing wrong in Boulder, man. Like, I hate that. Like, it's weird. It's not that I hate the place. I just hate their policies. Like, dude, we had one time we were up there and we had to go work at some place, and they're like, okay, so we have a homeless lady that lives in the thing, so you guys gotta be real careful taking your ladders through there. Don't disturb any of her stuff. I'm like, tell her to move out while we do our work, you know? Like, I'm like, nah. And they're like real, they reminded me a lot of Denver, you know? Like, they had one in Denver. It was a public library, and they're like, hey, can we just get the fire alarm system fired up for the corn shell? I was like, for what? Oh, so we could get the homeless people to use the bathroom. Really? Like, that's your priority? You know, like, and I was like, oh, all right, you know, whatever. I mean, I, you know, it is what it is. Like, they have their little policies, and I'm just like, whatever. You know, I just ignore it. But it's still irritating. It's like, whatever. Like, you're just bending over backwards, and here I am. Like, if I need a closet to stay in, you know, at the outside of the commercial building, you'd tell me I couldn't be there, you know.
Oh, I got something I was going to tell people. For any of y'all want to know, just hit me up in the comments if you want me to post one up, and I'll go out and take a video. But I've been playing golf for, God, ever since I was probably 5 years old. I mean, I played junior tournament site. And here just recently, I think I figured out one of the most important parts to the golf swing. I watch golf videos and all kinds of stuff, but I took 4 days about 3 weeks ago. I went every night and I hit golf balls, and I kept working trying to figure out, and then I tried something, and it's one thing that I'm doing, and I'm telling you, I went out and played today, and it was like I was taking dead aim at the pin. We got rain last night, and the ball wasn't rolling real good and everything, but plus we had a lot of moisture in there, so the air was heavy. The ball wasn't carrying. It took me about 5 holes before I figured out I need to club up one. And I'm telling you, I ended up, I think I shot 75, and I literally had eight birdie tries that were within 10 foot, and I lipped 8 of them, and 2 of them were probably about that much offside. I just read it a little wrong. But if y'all want me to tell you what I learned, I'll be more than happy to show everybody. And it's not something that's hard to do. And I was just threading my driver down. I mean, I didn't even miss the fairway all day, and I mean, I was just, you know, when you hit a ball and you hear that click and then the ground, that's what you were hearing from me all day. Just the ball was just jumping off of that club, and I mean, I was hitting it hard. And
nice.
I mean, I was out there, man. I was like, shit, yeah, man. I was feeling it out there today, brother. I whipped that.
All right, well, I got news for you. My Willie Jackerson Experiment podcast hit number 169 in Mexico. So 169
in Mexico.
Yeah. So
you got to do something about Mexico now, and you get it up there a little bit. Do one post.
Yeah, I got Philippines. I got Philippines. I got Brazil. I had like a bunch in like France, like the 5th largest country in Africa. So I'm getting there, you know. I'm moving around the world, you know, little by little. So when I saw Mexico, I'm like, you know, pretty soon those guys are gonna, you know, come spread it over here, and you know, well, I'll get to be good in the States too. So pretty awesome. But no, thanks a lot everyone for participation. You know, I drop my podcast on Sundays, and like I said, it was a lot of people. Like I had like 14 new people jump in, so I appreciate everyone jumping in. Means a lot, and hanging out with me every week on Spotify.
All right, you ready to get into the college stuff for this week?
Let's do it. I gotta hear it. time for King James's college breakdown and rankings.
All right, this week we got 3 games on the docket, and all of them were good games. Now, I went 2 for 3. I picked Michigan to beat USC. I picked Oklahoma State to beat the Utes. I really picked them because my best friend, he went to Oklahoma. He's a big Oklahoma State fan. And, of course, I picked against OU. It's Tennessee. So 2 for 3, not too bad. And enjoyed picking the teams this week. Now, going back to the updates and stuff we have this week, this is the playoff predictor. And you'll see what we were last week and how things have moved a little bit, which was interesting. Georgia didn't play, and they actually dropped down to number 6, which was interesting. Ole Miss moved up ahead of them, and Ohio State moved up 1, and Tennessee moved back 1. So I think the reason, because Tennessee moved down 1, is because they actually played somebody that had a heartbeat, and they just didn't light up Oklahoma. And I'll say this. I watched that. Well, I didn't watch the game till later, but of course, I was at the Texas game, and they would show Oklahoma getting stacked, and they were showing the game, and of course, we have our little chat. OU sucks, and so that was
what? No way.
Well,
you guys do that at the.
That's how Texas
State?
keeps from falling out in the ocean. Oklahoma keeps sucking on us.
I was wondering why Oklahoma had so much wind.
One of my other best friends, he went to Oklahoma. He's like, that podcast, I know you're going to talk shit about it. I'm like, yeah, I am.
Dude, I got this funny story for you. So my brother reaches out to me, and he's like, what are you doing over on Twitter? And I'm all, what? He goes, yeah, I got this post over there on Twitter, I guess, so as everyone knows, we did the K-State thing, and K-State plays at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and so this guy's handle was Bill Snyder Wizard at twitter.com or something, and he said, if K-State loses to BYU, I'm going to shove this burrito up my butt, and and my brother's like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, dude, I wouldn't take K-State over BYU. It's funny.
That's funny as hell there.
I know. I said it to you. You're like, what? Okay.
It sounds like you put something like that. But I can tell you one of the games the next week is going to be Alabama and Georgia for sure. That's the big game next week.
Because you do have BYU in there, don't you? Or is BYU in your radar?
No, Brigham Young's not there.
Gotcha. Okay. I saw that one right next to Miami. I couldn't tell who that was. Is that Penn State?
That's Oregon.
Oh, is that?
Oh, Penn State and then Oregon. Yeah, it was the week before they moved down 1. The one I'm surprised it didn't move down was Missouri. Missouri was lucky to win.
Gotcha.
I mean, they went to double overtime, and I was catching up on everything on the way back, checking the scores and everything, and playing.
Looks like Clemson caught back in.
Clemson's looking pretty good right now. I'm waiting. I'm gonna hold the jury out on them. I mean, I think looking at this, I think them top 7 that are there, I think they're gonna be there at the end. I think.
Right.
They all got pretty good teams, and I would say probably the easiest path to get there is probably Ole Miss's schedule, to be honest.
True.
And then probably Texas. Miami's going to have I just don't see anybody in ACC beating them. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. Clemson comes and plays them, but we'll see what happens there. I think Missouri's going to start picking up some of the bigger teams. If they play like they did last week, they're going to drop And eventually, I don't know who all Oregon's exactly playing, but they're definitely. I think they'll probably have to play Ohio State or Penn State, something like that. I don't know if they play Michigan this year. I'm not even really sure. I hadn't checked on the Big Ten, but
Well, the
you
one
know
thing I
this.
noticed, the one trend I noticed that I'm sure you pretty much like is it looks like Georgia's just been going down and down and down every week, and they haven't been really doing anything different.
Well, if Georgia beats Alabama, Georgia will go up to number 2 at least.
Right.
They'll jump right back up, and then that'll probably set the stage for when Georgia comes down. If Georgia loses Alabama, Georgia very well could lose to Texas because they're playing at Texas. That'd be 2
Sure.
games they've lost, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Georgia have to play Tennessee and Ole Miss?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
I
they
remember
got
we
a
were
tough
talking
schedule.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about how tough a schedule they had, like I think
Yeah.
last week.
I think it's going to be interesting, because this is going to change quite a bit within, the next 3-4 weeks. And, you'll see there, USC, they dropped out. They're not even in the top 18 as predicted to make it. So them losing to Michigan is big. And I'll tell you, Michigan keeps winning. Michigan wins out and beats Ohio State. I can tell you right now, they're in the playoffs. So
Yeah, so it looks like we have a couple of new ones that popped in.
yeah, we do.
Clemson, and then who else was there?
Utah.
Oh,
Utah
Utah's
jumped
in there.
in. Yeah, the Utah Utes jumped in. And I'll tell you, a team that's moved up a little bit too is Louisville. Louisville, they wasn't even there to start the season. They moved up. They're at number 13 right now. And
Wow.
Louisville's playing pretty good.
I'll never forget my brother. My brother loved this quarterback from Louisville, Dave Ragone, and everyone always gives my brother crap about it every time. Like, hey, what's up, Dave Ragone? I guess he's like a quarterback coach somewhere. I think he's a quarterback coach at like Houston Texans or something.
Yeah.
But everyone always like, hey, what's up with Dave Ragone?
Oh yeah. But anyway, that gets us set up for the playoff predictor up at this point. And this gets us into the top 25, and you'll see where we were last week. And this is the AP and coaches poll. And you're looking at it, and you'll see where they had teams ranked and all of that. And then when you jump over here and you pick up what has been happening each and every week, it really is interesting to see how things have completely changed. And
yeah. Coaches are still high on Georgia, it looks like.
yeah, and oh, I didn't mean to touch that. But if you look, well, let me go back one because I want to point something out here. If you look right here in the AP poll, they had USC at number 11, then they had them at number 12 over here. Then you come to the next one and look, they dropped to 13, and then they dropped over here to 16 in the coaches poll. Right. So they're going to have a little bit of trouble getting back up. And, that's interesting because if you come back, I want to look at this. They got Notre Dame sat here right now at number 11 as a predictor to make it. But you come in here and look, they got Notre Dame at number 14 and 16. So what I'm thinking, Notre Dame, their schedule isn't that hard this year. I think the only really hard team they got left is USC. So maybe that's why their predictors there, that's putting them up there. But
as I know from growing up a Notre Dame fan, Notre Dame has to beat USC. That's a must-win. So,
Yeah. Well, the thing that really caught me off guard a little bit is looking at that. You're out of the top 6 teams, 5 of them are SEC, and those teams are all about. Some of them are going to start playing each other.
Oh man, here we go. You got Chris Heston Welcome in, brother. Oh man, we got America's team in the house, but oh man, hey.
But
All right.
I like the way that this is looking. And the thing that interests me is Oklahoma didn't drop that far. They're 21-18, but I can tell you they're not even going to be in the top 25 for it's done. I mean, they've got some hard teams coming up. They're going to have to play. You know, that this week Texas gets Mississippi State, and they're I think they already opening line was like 35 point under. Giving up 35 points, and then they get a week off.
Oh, we got some Go Blue in the house. All right.
We've been talking Michigan, and as a matter of fact, I'll have the stats of that game here in a minute. Talking about actually watched that when I was at the Texas game, and we were sitting there, and I was like, and Bill will tell everybody, I picked Michigan. And everybody else picking USC, going, you're freaking nuts. I said, I'm telling you. Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, anytime King James makes a bet or something, I screenshot it so I could just post it in all the groups later, so I could back him up. But a lot of people like talk crap, say whatever. But I don't know, Chris, if you were here, like our one of our episodes, I think it was like one of our first episodes. We had my brother come in, and he just got beat by Texas. Michigan just got beat. My brother's a big Michigan fan, so that's where we get the old Go Blue for my brother. But David did a really good job coming in here as a guest, so it's pretty awesome.
Well, the thing that I found interesting, if you look at the new AP poll and the coaches poll, Michigan moved up to 12 in both of them.
Right.
That's a big jump right there. So looking at this, the coaches are feeling that Utah is going to win the Big 12.
Well, and you were right, too, to say that Michigan's got a real strong team. If they held tough with Texas, number one in the nation, and then they go in and beat USC, that's saying something.
Yeah, Texas, I've listened to some sportscasts and things like that, and I'm out screwing around, and they're all saying, damn, Texas, they said, Michigan going beating USC, it just really showed how strong the Texas offense and defense is. They're good on both sides. Their special teams is good. I mean, they're just all around. And I'll tell you, I was at the game, and I mean, halfway through the first quarter, I've never seen a team run out so many different players back, in and out. I mean, by the time they were in the second quarter, hell, they were running second, third teamers in there. And, I mean, you didn't see a drop-off hardly. I mean, it was incredible. I was like, man, do they really have that much depth? I mean, it was amazing to me. And I was listening to Josh Pate or one of them, I can't remember. He was going through talking about it, and he said, you don't really realize how deep until you pay attention how many players they're putting in. And they said, you feel sorry for like Louisiana Monroe because they're leaving their best players out there, and Texas just keeps coming out there with fresh players. Well, hell, them guys ain't tired. You know what I mean? Because they're getting rest over and over, and said they're just out there running full speed. And I'll tell you what, Arch Manning, man, that they were doing a thing, and they said Sarkisian, as long as he's been the coach there, which this is his fourth year, Arch Manning threw more deep balls than any other quarterback they've ever had attempt that many deep throws. And then they had the podcast day, and it said, yeah, he was supposed to hit a few check downs on those. Arch Manning he was throwing that ball down there, man. I was like, God, I mean, the crowd was up every time because you never knew if he was going to let a bomb go. So, but
Nice.
it was fun watching the game. I
Yeah.
really had a good time
Dude,
uh, there.
that's
So,
like such a great experience. Like, I went to Buff games. I went to that's probably the only college game I ever really went to was Buffalo's. But
hmm
my dad, when I was real young, used to take me to the Air Force games. And
yep.
man, nothing's funner than an Air Force game. Like Air Force, I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing, man. Because what's so awesome is like if they like miss a extra point and all the cadets have to go do push-ups, you
hmm
know what I mean? Or like if they do some bad play, then they all have to do push-ups and they get all mad at each other, like, at the end. But
Oh,
that was
that
pretty cool.
since you say it, I got to tell this story. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
we're at the game, and right before the game starts, they have the cheerleaders and a whole bunch of them that make this line all the way down the field, and they call it the herd, and all the kids that go there. I bet you there was 200 kids, and they got them down at the tunnel, and they come out of the tunnel and run all the way down to the other end. This one kid, he's hard ass down there, and he trips and falls, and he jumps down, and he starts doing push-ups, and the crowd was going freaking nuts, man. I was like, now that's
Wow.
freaking hilarious. I was as a kid that's playing little league youth football.
That's funny. Well, at
uh,
least he didn't get trampled.
Oh yeah, the crowd was just going nuts and cheering him on. I mean, it was almost deafening in there, man. It was something else. But I
Nice.
was like, oh, I got to tell that story. All right, let's get
Well,
to the game.
I knew that we'd get some good King James stories, so
Oh yeah, I always got a story. You know
all right.
that. All right, first game of the day, the one everybody wanted to talk about that they were all interested in was Tennessee and OU, and this game ended up being 25-15. And I will tell you, the OU defense played pretty good, but I think it showed. They got a young quarterback, Tennessee, and I'm gonna show the stats here, and you'll understand why. But he's young and he's still learning. And when you're playing good defenses, that have been coached well and everything, you're gonna make mistakes. And I'll give an example of this. We were at the Texas game, and we were there, and I went with Bill and another friend, Bill, and he goes, yeah. He goes, what do you think will happen if Arch has a good big game? Are they going to still play yours? I said, oh, this is Ura's team. I said, but I think you're going to notice during this game that Arch has like uber talent, but I have a feeling after watching the last game, you're going to see his reads are not as fast as what Urs does. And it actually showed. There was a few times there, if he'd have been a little quicker, he'd have had a couple of touchdowns more. So as we were watching the game, he goes,
But
yeah,
he's young, isn't he
oh,
like
yeah,
17, 18 or something?
I think he's 18. And he's a true freshman. And
Right.
he's learning the system and everything, and that's what made it really good because you're learning, how to do it. Well, Urs has been doing it for 3 years. This is his third year, and he's very decisive and quick with the ball now, and that's what Sark was talking about before the season start. That's why there was no debate. He was going to be the starting quarterback, and the great thing I like about it is Manning is getting playing time. It's not going to be next year, and he started a whole game. He may start this next game. I don't know. I think they want to try to get Urs if he can play to get ready for conference play because we got a bye week next week. But
True.
Manning, he's learning, and that's something that's good. For
Yeah.
him to be late on some throws and a few things here and there, and then still just railroad them like they did, that tells you how good the team really is. So,
True. And you do make a good point about the depth. One thing I wanted to ask about Tennessee was what was the turnover differential? Because
That's what we're going to get to.
It seemed like OU was frustrating Tennessee's offense there, and actually kind of kept them in the game there for a minute.
Well, it was interesting because if you look at the total yards, Tennessee had 345 yards and OU had 222 yards. Okay, but if you look at passing, it was pretty much even.
Right.
But where the difference was rushing, and I'm going to tell you, OU's line they're pathetic. I'm just going to say it. Their offensive line's terrible. And I can tell you, based on Texas's defensive line and their linebackers and the speed they have, OU ain't running on. They better be throwing the ball and hoping they can get something through there. Because,
True.
I mean, if you look, Michigan's a running team. Texas shut that down and made them try to pass. And if you look at their rushing, they only had 36 rushing yards against Tennessee for 34 attempts for an average of 1.1. That's putrid, man. But I will say this. If you look at the rush, they had 151 yards rushing, but they had 52 attempts with only 2.9. That's not good either.
Right.
So when you look at it, there were 2 turnovers. They had 2 fumbles that were lost by Tennessee, and you had 2 by OU with 1 interception.
Right.
So when you look at it, Tennessee grinded it out. They had the better team in order to grind it out, and they had the ball 11 minutes more.
Dude, right now, I am freaking tied in fantasy 88-88. That's crazy.
Keep checking,
coming
baby.
Coming down to the end. Pretty good.
But as you look at it, you can sort of see how they did here. And it sort of shows the passing. And if you look, he was 13 of 21 for 194 yards. Nico, I don't know how to say his last name, Leva, I think is how they say it. But, he was struggling. Now, the interesting thing was during this game, the starting quarterback, he's out of Denton Guyer, was Jackson Arnold. He got benched.
Wow.
And they brought in the other quarterback, and he went 11 and 18 for 132 yards. He averaged 7.3 yards per attempt with 1 TD. So, and he's a true freshman, Michael Hawkins Jr., and I think there's going to be a quarterback controversy, I guess you could say, and I'm sort of curious to see Oklahoma if they're going to have him starting quarterback. But if you look, he was also, when they brought him in, he ended up being their main yardage carrier. He had 12 carries for 22 yards for 1.8, with one of them going off for 11 yards. So it sort of goes to show that he's more of a dual threat, I guess. But 1.8 average, that's not anything. But it sort of gives you an idea of what they did during the game as far as the quarterbacks. And then you'll see that it was the quarterback that lost both of those fumbles for Tennessee.
Right.
And I think that's why they sort of just pulled back from throwing, I guess. Because earlier games, they were throwing. And then you had Jackson Arnold had 2 fumbles. So I don't know what they're going to do, Oklahoma, but I'm just telling you, they really, really struggled. Their defense played pretty good, but, that only takes you so far. And then these are just some of the defensive stats, tackles and stuff like that, and how many sacks. And if you look, Tennessee ended up having 3 sacks, but if you look, Oklahoma also had 3 sacks. So, as I started looking at this game, I was like, well, let me look at the tackles for loss. They had 11 at Tennessee and they had 9 for Oklahoma. That tells me right there this game was really, really close. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was like I watched it live, and like I say, I was surprised that Tennessee was still in the game, and it was basically just kind of what you were saying about Oklahoma OU's offense. They
mm-hmm.
could not get the run game going. They were just always tackles for losses or no gain and then they would have to pass. And anytime you make a team one dimensional like that, then you kind of take the advantage.
Yeah, and if you look, uh, Tennessee, they had 3 field goal attempts. 3 of them were made, 3 for 3, uh, and that was 9 of their points. And Oklahoma had 1. So it
Right.
it tells me that Tennessee, they were picked to win by a lot more than that, and they did not play to the level that people thought they were going to, and I think that's why they dropped like they did. Now, the next game,
Right.
I actually was watching this when I was at the game before ours got started, and
Yeah, like I watched like the beginning, and I really liked the way Michigan came out at the beginning of the game. Like I really feel like Michigan really set the tone, and to me, that's kind of why I didn't really watch much of it because I just watched how Michigan came out, and I was like, oh, they deserve to win this game. I didn't know if they would because, of course, everyone knows Chris Heston. Chris Heston knows that every time all the refs just cheat against Michigan. So, that's why I was like, we'll hear about it. But
oh yeah.
somehow the refs have to, like, put on the blindfold or something.
Well, it's interesting because if you actually go and look at it, USC had more total yards than Michigan did, and they
Right.
actually had 5 more first downs. But
Wow.
what I think really did this was Michigan just, I mean, they just rammed it down their throat rushing the ball. Because if you
Right.
look, USC had 96 yards rushing, but Michigan had 290, and they averaged 6.3 yards a carry. That
Oh, yeah.
that's impressive, man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
it is.
And Michigan even had 2 fumbles lost. So
Wow.
that tells you how well they played. But if you look, Southern Cal had a fumble loss and an interception. So when you
Well,
got,
yeah.
go
Like
ahead.
you look at that one with the Michigan Texas game, they had a muff punt, didn't they?
Well, he
Didn't they
didn't.
muff a punt return or muff
Yeah,
a
he
kick
was going
return
to
or something?
punt it, and he lost a little control of the ball and started to take off running, and they were on him right then.
Yeah,
But
that's
that fumble didn't do it, that. That didn't change the game or that. Texas was dominating them already at that
yeah.
point.
I thought that Michigan muffed a punt too. That they actually muffed like blatantly were getting ready to catch it and then muffed it and Texas recovered. But I
Well,
can't. I can't.
I'll tell you something that interests me when I saw this, because I didn't realize it was that many. I knew they were doing a bunch, but that USC threw 52 passes. That's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah.
And so he was uh, uh, he had 28 completions and 24 that wasn't completed. That tells me the quarterback, he wasn't that good.
Well, yeah.
'Cause
What was that? Like that's not a good completion ratio.
no, hell no, it didn't. Just a little over 50%. And Michigan only threw the ball 12 times and had 7 completions. That's actually not too bad. And but the
Do you
thing
wanna? Do
was,
you wanna hear? Do you wanna hear a funny stat?
that,
So I was doing research on like OJ Simpson when I was doing my OJ Simpson podcast. He actually broke the NFL record, 272 yards rushing. I don't remember exactly how many touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
his quarterback was 4 for 12 for 27 yards.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
When I heard that stat, it was on Thanksgiving Day too in 1972, I believe.
Yeah.
But that blew me away when I was hearing that stat.
The one that impressed me was Kalel Mullins. He had 17 carries for 159 yards that averaged 9.4. That's a hell of a day. But if you notice, Michigan, they played orgy the whole game.
Wow.
And you notice he only completed for 32 yards, but he carried the ball 13 times for 43 yards.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's going to get you some fantasy points in the NFL, kids.
That's right. And that's why I thought this was good to look at. And if you look, USC had 2 sacks, but looky there. You see Michigan had 4 sacks, and tackles for loss they had 8, and USC had 7. So
wow.
I think those sacks really played a big key into taking them out of their game. So there were no really big returns or anything. Probably Samaj Morgan, he did pretty good. He had 3 on his punt returns for 34 yards. He averaged 11.3. That's not bad. I'll give it to him on that. And if you look, puntings were pretty close. Thing that Michigan did real good is 4 times they punted it inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
So,
see, the Broncos did that like 7 times in a row, and it didn't win them the game. But
well, the great thing about that is it shows special teams matter.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
And let me get to the last game, and this was the one, the Utes and Oklahoma State Cowboys, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys were trying to make a comeback, and they got within 3. But really, the Oklahoma State Cowboys quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, he got benched. A lot of starting quarterbacks got benched this week. So that's going to make it interesting. But if you look, the Utes controlled this game pretty much. They had 20 first downs. Oklahoma State only had 11. And when you look at it, both teams, their third down conversion efficiency wasn't good. But where it really made the difference was the Utes converting on 4th down. They went
and total
times.
Yards.
Yeah.
Look at that total yards. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, that what is really going to hurt OSU is they're not running the ball. And
one of the big things that stands out too, looking at that, is the time of possession. Like, if you're just possessing the ball the whole game, then you know what I mean. Like,
sure. And this game would have been a lot worse.
That defense is going to get tired, and they're going to be like not stopping you at a certain point.
Well, the Utes made their mistakes, and so did OSU. I mean, both of them had 2 interceptions of quarterbacks, but the 1 fumble loss, they actually had 3 turnovers compared to OSU's 2. So that sort of helped keep things a little close. But when you look at one of the top, was supposed to be one of the top players this year was going to be Ollie Gordon II for Oklahoma State. He only had 11 carries for 42 yards. That's telling me that the offensive line's not doing that good. And Alex Bowman, who's the starting quarterback, he was 16 to 33 with 2 TDs and 2 interceptions, but they ended up bringing in Garrett Rangel, who went 3 for 11 for 31 yards. So,
or that could be the Utes linebackers filling those gaps, filling those holes, and making it tough.
Yeah, and that's where we were going to get in this next, and sort of looking at what actually took place. And if you look, the Utes, there wasn't like there were a lot of tackles for loss, and this is why I think it didn't do as good as they could have done. Because if you look, Oklahoma State's defense, they had 10 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. That 10 tackles for loss, that's a big deal. And that could have been something that paused the drive where they were kicking field goals instead of getting touchdowns. You see what I'm
True.
saying?
Oh, you know who that reminds me of? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's Cowboys. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about them until they win a game. Oh, man.
All right, too soon.
Too soon. But you sort of look at it, and Oklahoma State, this is something that'll blow you away. They didn't even have a punt return the whole game.
Right.
Now, they did have the 4 kickoff returns, and the guy averaged 23.8 yards, which is freaking awesome. But you'll see Utah had 3 punt returns. That tells me what kept this game pretty close, in my opinion, was the tackles for loss. And, I didn't get to see every bit of the game. I caught parts of it as we were there at the stadium. But then I went back, did some checking, and I was listening to some of the podcasts, and they were all saying the exact same thing. So next week, we'll have 3 more games.
Ooh, doggy.
We will have Georgia and Alabama. Going to be a hell of a game. And then, as I said earlier, Illinois is playing really good. Now, we're going to find out this week if they're for real, because they're going to pick up Penn State. And Penn State ain't look like no world beater. So I think that's going to be a good game. And then you got Louisville and Notre Dame. And
I think I gotta pick Alabama. I'm gonna say Roll Tide. I'm gonna take the Fighting Illini, Illinois, and I'm gonna take my team, Notre Dame, for next week.
Okay, we're going to be exactly the same, except for I'm going to take Louisville.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
I think Illinois is looking pretty good. I watched some of that and highlights. Illinois is looking pretty good. I'm impressed. So
hey, feel free to go on to the Monday Morning Coach page on Facebook, and you could direct message the Monday Morning Coach page and pick your pick for next week's game of the week, and we will get your name as a little banner on the bottom, and we'll tell who won the picks next week.
Yeah, I had a pretty good pick this last week, and I don't know why. Watching Georgia struggle against Kentucky, their offense was putrid. If they come in and because I think Alabama's defense is going to be better than what Kentucky is, but if Georgia ain't figured that out, they're in for a long day against Alabama.
Yeah, I will agree with you. I didn't see Georgia as like that number 1 execution or anything in that game. Looked like they made a lot of mistakes, and they didn't execute the calls the right way, and they had to do kind of like some backdoor. Anytime you try to go for those check downs, which that's fine if you use a check down, like you were talking about Arch Manning doing, like go for the check down, and then he just bomb it deep. But that's the thing. What you have to look for is when they're just going for those check downs on every play, then that might not be the calls that's gonna like get you the national championship this year.
Sure, I'm looking forward to seeing all 3 of these games. These are going to be really good games. That's why I said we're getting in to the 5th week, and it starts. You start getting teams that are ranked going to start playing each other, and you're going to see who separates men from the boys now.
Well, I know one team is going to come out playing like champions that day, and that's going to be my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So, I got them.
All right. That brings us to your NFL games of the week, and
I wanted to just give everyone an update on my fantasy. So I just took the lead. So I'm up by 4 now. So it's 88-83. So Bengals defense must be doing something wrong. So appreciate you all rooting for the Bengals defense to get crushed and for Buffalo Cook to get some touchdowns and runs in yards.
Awesome. All right, well, let's cue you up and let you do your NFL this week.
Now it's time for Willie's NFL Breakdown, Power Rankings, and Fantasy. All right, so thanks so much for everyone jumping in. And so this week, I tried to show where the rankings, where they're at, what they moved to. This is actually probably not very accurate. It's going to move a lot. I'm guessing it's going to move a lot next week. Like, you look at, like, the Lions going from 5 to 7. I'm predicting the Lions being more like at a 3. Like the Saints going from number 9 to 5. I'm guessing the Saints are going to be at, like, 11. Looking at the Texans, I'm guessing the Texans are going to be down, like, probably below top 10. Like, they didn't have a very good showing. Colts might move up. Colts look pretty good. Colts might go to like 17 or something. Eagles, like I say, they did win the game on the road. They could be still in the top 10. Giants are definitely not going to be in the basement after they beat the Browns. That's one I expect to move a lot. Packers is an interesting one. I'm not sure. I expect the Packers to probably move up to the top 10. That's kind of one that not really sure about. Falcons probably stay around 17. That's probably a good spot for them. Buccaneers are probably going to drop to probably below top 10. The Rams are probably going to move up. The Rams, they had a good showing against San Fran. That's my what I picked for my game of the week. I expect the Rams to probably move up, probably to like 15 or something in there, maybe top 20. They were at 20, they dropped to 26. I don't think they belong at 26. A lot of these rankings were like week 2, where they moved to in week 2. So now week 3, they're going to move again. So I expect a lot of these to move. Obviously the Chiefs, I think they're fine at number 2. I think that's a good place for them. Bills move up to number 1. Of course they're going to move up to number 1, especially if I win my fantasy tonight. And then I don't know, the Jets are really in a bad spot. I'd say they'd be hovering around 12, 13. That's fine. Raiders could possibly stay right around where they're at, maybe 26, 24, somewhere in there. Bengals to be number 4, I don't know. I don't think that they're playing like that tonight. I predict the Bengals to kind of move down from there. I think that's kind of overranked. Niners might even slip further than number 6. Seahawks actually played pretty good. I think they could stay around number 14, number 13. Broncos possibly could move out of the 30 spot. I could see the Broncos going up to like a 26, 27 spot, somewhere in there. And the Patriots might actually take where the Broncos are at and move back down to 30. So it was interesting because the Patriots kind of showed some life, but then they just didn't have that great of a showing against the Jets. The Jets just, stomped them. But yeah, and the Vikings, yeah, that's a good call, DJ. The Vikings look good. I would say the Vikings would be probably in like the 12 spot. They'd move up a little bit. They look solid, and Sam Darnold, He's actually ranked pretty high in fantasy now, just because of the way he's playing. But just do not buy all the hype and do not go get Derek Carr. Do not ask me how I know that. But like I say, Derek Carr fantasy is a little bit overrated. But overall, from looking at all the different teams, I'm really anxious to see how the Commanders play against the Bengals, because that could change a lot of stuff on this power ranking, because I could see the Bengals dropping back down to a number 12 and the Commanders moving up to like a 26 or something, or 22 or, even higher,
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys stay solid at number 11. The Cowboys might drop a little bit below the Eagles. It's going to be interesting to try to see how that plays out. I'm going to have to kind of rank this against records and stuff too for that division. That's kind of why I put them in divisions like this, so we could kind of see. Falcons actually have been looking okay. I haven't been really impressed with Cousins. I don't know. Like I say, Falcons, they probably could have won. Like I say, it was a close game, but like I say, I think the Falcons probably stay at 17. Panthers might actually crawl out of that 32 spot. It's going to be tough next week to pick a 32 spot, a 32 team. A team that belongs in the basement, because Panthers actually showed some pretty good life. Got their running game going. Like I say, the Bears, they might actually drop. The Bears it was pretty sad. They have some really good talent on their team, but they just there was so many stupid mistakes. I don't even know if 26 is really keeping them honest. I almost think they should be more at like a 28 or something. So, like I say, I'll kind of update these a little bit better next week. We'll have a pretty little bit better angle on who's really the powerhouse in this mix. Obviously we have the Bills playing the Jags tonight. Bills being that number 1 team against like a number 24 team. The Jags could even drop further. They stayed solid at 24 for all these weeks, and if they drop this really heavily to the Bills, which I don't even know what the score is right now, but I'm pretty sure
34-3.
Yeah, okay, so the Jags might actually drop to maybe the 28 spot or something. But no wonder. I didn't even check my fantasy score. I might be even doing better.
Yeah, they're whipping up on them.
No, like I say, I'm just kind of basing this. Yeah, I'm up by 5 right now, so that's pretty good. But I'm just basing this on what I do is I look at ESPN power rankings. I look at all the different sports podcasts power rankings, and then I just make my own decision where I rank them. So It's probably going to be a little different next week. The Cowboys might actually drop to 17. I don't know why, just because that's my opinion. But people like to pay for our opinion, right, James?
Hell yeah.
But I'm just kidding. I'm not really that down on the Cowboys. I just like to joke around, give King James a hard time, But like I say, I try to rank them honest, and it's funny because I actually dropped the Cowboys 1 spot last week, and I boosted Green Bay up 1 spot, and now Green Bay might actually move up 1 more spot, and the power ranking have them dropping 10 spots. You know what I mean? So it's not real. It's hard to get it accurate, especially when we're doing it, because I'm trying to get this ready on Sunday. Games are being played while I'm trying to get this ready, so I could be totally wrong. But,
sure.
At the same time, I'm honest, and when we come to next week, I'll have a little bit more handle on where I feel those teams are moving, way down, way up, and then I'll have that reflected change of where they were the week before. So I'll be able to just move that over and then just go, okay, well, this is what I said last week, and this is where they're at now. And that might even be wrong. So we'll see. I have a lot of fun doing it.
All right,
Did we do the?
We got
we
your
do
game of the week
All
with
right.
all the stats there.
All right. So this one was the San Francisco 49ers versus the LA Rams. And like I say, San Francisco actually played a really good game. Got a little chippy towards the end. Um, there was a lot of really interesting things that I noticed. The Rams actually moved the ball really effectively. The thing that really bothered me, I had San Fran's defense in fantasy, and it didn't seem like San Fran's defense was really slowing them down. Seemed like the Rams were able to do like whatever they wanted. They had their run game picking up. Actually had Kyler, the running back for the Rams, and he actually had a really good day. I think I can't even see the yards on there, but
Well, the total yards, San Francisco should have won this game. Looking at the metrics here, I mean, they had 425 yards of total offense, and the Rams only had 296.
what was the rush yards?
Uh, let me go over here.
What was the Rams rush yards? I can't really see that.
Let me get it over here.
Okay, here we
Do
go.
that a little better.
Yeah.
So San Francisco had 137 yards rushing and 288 yards passing, and Los Angeles had 198 yards passing with only 98 yards rushing.
Right. But anyway, so the 98 rushing yards to me was important because those 98 rushing yards came at like inopportune times where they needed to pick up the first down and they got it. And it's going to be really hard for a defense to get off the field if they just give up those run yards. That was the one big thing that stood out to me. And then it seemed like the Rams were able to gash them on the pass too. So it just seemed like maybe the 49ers didn't have their head in the game, but it just seemed like they were giving up plays that they shouldn't give up. And there's certain things that win you games, and like I say, I agree with you, James. The Niners they won every statistic that you could see in that graphic,
Yeah.
and
They had
still
3
lost the
sacks,
game.
5 tackles for loss.
hmm
Los Angeles had 1 sack and 4 tackles for loss, and they still lost.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
so like you look at every metric in there that you have to consider, and they basically lost every single one of them, and so that was pretty, I thought important when it comes to winning a game. To me, I was blown away because I thought Sam Fran had it in the bag, and then here comes the Rams, and then they just take it down the field and win the game.
well, they
So
had 1 punt return. Los Angeles did 1 for 38 yards, and they were 2 for 2 on their kicking, where San Francisco only made 1 or 2. There's your
right,
difference. Little
true.
things like that.
Yeah, and that kick return came like in the fourth quarter. I think I don't have the box score. Can't really see the box score, but I think that kick return came like in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and it was just
Yeah,
you could just tell that San Fran was just out of gas and everything. So, here
sure.
we have the standings for the Chatter League. I might have thrown some question marks in here that might have already been resolved, but looks like Cameron went to 1-2. Paul's perfect team went to 3-0. Rising Rhino, I believe, is 3-0. Goose Sports went to 3-0. Scott Lundquist went to 3-0. Long Ball Stoners is at 1-2. Willie's Wild Team 3-0. Dino's SST, I believe, went to 1-2. I believe he lost to Riding Rhino. I didn't want to put the score in there if I didn't know because Monday night haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice went to 0-3. 42 Sigmas went to 1-2. Run CMC went to 1-1. Or is that 1-1? Should have been. Should have been. Yeah, it should have been 1-2, I believe, or 2-1. I might have screwed that up. Then True North Maniacs went to 2-1. Kermit's most stats, I believe, is at 1-2, and then Ruben's Remarkables at 0-3. Alex at TSSTs at 0-3, and TJ's talented team, I believe, is at 2-1. But like I say, if I put those question marks in there, it was just because I didn't know, and I didn't want to say something like Rising Rhino and TSST at Dino's. It's Dino's Tap House YouTube channel, one of our friends. They were battling back and forth. I don't even know if it's even still solved. Like, I think Rising Rhino was up by like 2 points last time I looked, but he was projected to win. But then Dino had a bunch of bills. I think he was going against who was it? Josh Allen and one of the receivers, Bills receivers. So it looks like they had a great night. So that could be Rising Rhino might have lost. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go and look. But,
well, you got the Bills. I can tell you here.
I could.
Josh Allen's 22 for 28 with 247 yards and 4 TDs. That's going to get some points.
Yeah, I could probably look it up like on the league, but right now, I'm up by 2 points. So it's fourth quarter now, isn't it, or third quarter?
No, they're at halftime.
Oh, okay. Dang, that high before like at halftime? Whew.
Yeah.
Man, them Bills are lighting it up. But yeah, so that's the stats for our fantasy chatter league. So thanks everyone for allowing me to play. So these are our top 3 fantasy QBs right now. It's number 1 is Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Kyler Murray. Top 3 fantasy running backs is Bijan Robinson. Number 2, Bryce Hall. And number 3, Jordan Mason. And like I say, I can verify all of those because they all lit me up on fantasy this week. And then top 3 fantasy receivers. We got CD Lamb. We got Lamar Chase, who I have in one of my leagues, and I hope he's lighting it up on the Bengals, but it doesn't sound like it. And then number 3, Justin Jefferson, who lit it up awesome for me. So keep rolling it, Justin Jefferson. Top 3 fantasy tight end, we got Trey McBride, we got Brock Bowers, and then we have number 3, Travis Kelce. I foresee Kelce like moving out of that group in the next week. Like, I think this was kind of a late, pick by me. I just think that, like, by looking at the power rankings, I see Kelce moving down, and I see somebody from like the Eagles. I can't remember his name, but he crushed it for me. The tight end for the Eagles, I can't remember his name.
Jamar Chase has had 3 receptions for 58 yards and 1 touchdown.
Okay, not bad then. Yeah, and like I say, you go over to the next page. We got your top 3 fantasy flex, which is basically a copy of the top 3 running backs. Which is number 1, Bijan Robinson. Number 2, Breece Hall. Number 3, Jordan Mason. And those are, if you look at those from the flex, the reason that those are in the flex, because they can pick up yards from catching touchdowns, or running touchdowns, or rushing yards, or catching yards. So that's the reason they call it flex. Then we have the top 3 fantasy kickers, which is number 1, Brandon Aubrey. Number 2, Harrison Bunker. Number 3, Jake Moody. And then top 3 fantasy defense is number 1, Browns. Number 2, San Francisco. And number 3, Jets. I'm actually going to throw my own in there. If you ask me, the Packers should be in this conversation if you talk about top defenses. I have picked up the Packers defense. They crushed it. I got like 24 points on Packers defense this week. So I would be looking to try to look for a free agent defense and try to pick up the Packers defense. Like I say, the Browns defense, I don't think they deserve to be at number one. Like I say, this is kind of a late pickup. Browns defense, I think, only scored like 3 points this week. So the Browns defense did horrible. But like I say, the Packers really crushed it. Like, dude, I picked up all the hype this week. Like, just listening to like what I thought would be the best. And I ended up picking up Tampa Bay defense against the Broncos, thinking, oh, cool, I'm going to win. And I think the Tampa Bay, they got just a little bit more than the Cowboys. My one team had the Cowboys. I got .091. But the whole thing was I still won with Cowboys defense. So I said, I'm going to try to pick something else up. I picked up the Packers, and they just crushed it, and I beat Cameron. Thank you, Cameron. So, pretty awesome.
Well, you got one more thing to do, which is your final countdown. So let me cue that up.
Time for the final countdown of the week. All right, this week's winner of the final countdown is the Philadelphia Eagles, beating the New Orleans Saints 15-12. And so Saquon Barkley's fourth quarter TD lifts the Eagles over the Saints in a defensive 15-12 thriller. So basically, I'll animate this for you guys. The Saints drove down the field, score a touchdown. I think there was like 3 minutes left or something, and they go for two. They miss. They fail on the 2-point conversion. So they're trying to make it 7 to well, basically, if they would have made the 2-point conversion, it would have been 7-14. So then the Eagles drive down the field. Saquon Barkley, he was playing on my fantasy, so he had to go put it in the end zone. Then they go for two, they get it, and they end up taking the lead by 3. New Orleans still has, right at the 2-minute warning, I think it was either at the 2-minute warning or maybe a little less, and they had 2 minutes to drive down the field, put it in field goal range, and win the game. And Derek Carr comes out and gives the Eagles a nice gift over the middle, interception, and that was all she wrote, folks. And that's the final countdown for the Saints.
Wow.
But congratulations, Eagles. And I'm gonna keep track of who the winners are, because you never know. I mean, the Eagles might win it. You never know. The Saints might get redemption, and then they'll have to cancel each other out. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, and then the famous Willie quiz. Let's cue it up. You ready, DJ?
You are now entering the zone of the Willie Quiz. Enter at your own risk.
All right, so I want you to know, James, I made this one really easy because I wanted to give Daniel a chance, but then I knew you'd already know all these. So, like I say, you could go 5 for 5, but if Daniel ties you, he's gonna take the win tonight. All right.
Okay.
So, question number 1: which NFL team has never played in a Super Bowl? Is it A, the Detroit Lions? Is it B, the Jacksonville Jaguars? Is it C, the Cleveland Browns? Is it D, the Houston Texans? Or is it E, the Tennessee Titans? Good luck, everyone.
Well,
All right, I told you it was easy.
I'm thinking about this one for a second. I know Cleveland had, and I didn't think Houston had either, and I didn't think Jacksonville had.
Ooh, Daniel's taking B. Ooh, Jacksonville Jags.
I know Cleveland hadn't. I know Jacksonville ain't done shit since they've been there. I think I have to go with B too. Yeah, I'll go with B.
Oh, man. So, you guys just always like copy answers and just think you're always right. And this time you're not. It is actually C, the Cleveland Browns. So, I'm not exactly sure where Jacksonville, what team they came from before, but the team that they came from that became the Jags, because they were an expansion team, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I know that, like, the Houston Texans, they were the Houston Oilers. The Houston Oilers have played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I know the Texans haven't. So,
but the Houston Oilers have, and that was the expansion team they became,
Yeah.
So this question was actually going into
actually, that's not true. The Houston Oilers actually moved to Tennessee as the Tennessee Titans, and then
that's one that the Tennessee Titans have been to the Super Bowl. I don't remember. I read up on it when I was doing it, and basically all the expansion teams that went there, they played in the Super Bowl. So I don't remember exactly all the expansion teams, but the Tennessee Titans were the Houston Oilers, and the Houston Oilers did play it in the Super Bowl.
See, that's why I was thinking. That's why I know the Houston Texans hadn't. I knew that for sure, and I didn't know.
But their the expansion team that they came from did.
That's what I'm saying. The Houston Texans did not come from an expansion. They started a whole new thing because they moved the Oilers to the Titans to Tennessee.
But you didn't even pick that one.
No.
Let me do some research. I'll get the challenge flag out on this one, but
yeah, because
I think
I was just looking at the names that were there because that's what I was saying. Those were the three I was in right there. Was the Jaguars, Browns, and Texans. Those three.
Oh man, dude, freaking Daniel. Oh dude. Yeah. All right. All right. Everyone gets the right answer on that one. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
All right. Number 2. Who holds the NFL record for the most career receiving touchdowns? Is it A, Randy Moss? Is it B, Terrell Owens? Is it C, Jerry Rice? Is it D, Larry Fitzgerald? Or is it E, Jim Brown? Good luck, everyone. If I'm wrong, I will come out and I will give you all a formal apology. And
I'm gonna go with C because I think he had the most receiving touchdowns. He has the most receiving yards too. That's Jerry Rice, and I think Randy Moss was number 2. So I'm gonna go with C.
All right, so you're gonna copy Daniel, and you're correct. It's Uncle Jerry Rice because, my wife's maiden name is Rice, so we always say, "What's up? It's Uncle Jerry."
Uncle Jerry.
Correct.
Oh,
all right. What is the name of the only team to finish the regular season undefeated and win the Super Bowl? Is it A, the New England Patriots? Is it B, Miami Dolphins? Is it C, the Green Bay Packers? Is it D, the Chicago Bears? Or is it E, the Indianapolis Colts? Good luck, everyone.
I will help you on this, Daniel. The quarterback was Brian Greasy.
I told you this was
there you
easy.
Go. Me.
Told you this was easy. And you are correct. It was the Miami Dolphins. It was funny because somebody at work was like, "Oh, New England Patriots." I was like, "Yes, I got them." But there's actually a club that anytime a team's undefeated, they go to every game until they lose.
Oh, yeah.
That we actually played for that Dolphin club because they want to be the only ones undefeated ever.
They still are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure enough. All right. So, which quarterback holds the record for most career passing yards in the NFL? Is it A, Peyton Manning? Is it B, Drew Brees? Is it C, Tom Brady? Is it D, Brett Favre? Or is it E, Johnny Unitas? Good luck, everyone. Oh man, Daniel, what? No, dude, it's not rigged, man. All right, so
this one's easy. I know who this is, and I can help you out on this. He's played more games than any of them. He's been to more Super Bowls than any of them. He's won more MVPs than any of them. He's the GOAT. Tom Brady. See.
Tom Brady, see. Oh man, see you later. So, yeah. All right, you guys are on a roll, man. I don't even know. I can't fool you guys, man. All right, so who was the first overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft? Was it A, Chase Young? Was it B, Tua Tagovailoa? Was it C, Justin Herbert? Was it D, Joe Burrow? Or was it E, Kyler Murray? Good luck, everyone.
if I'm not mistaken, I think that was Cleveland in 2020 that had draft. I think it's Joe Burrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's Cincinnati.
Or Cincinnati. I mean Cincinnati. Uh, yeah, I think that was Joe Burrow. Yeah, okay, I agree with him. I think that's who it was.
Oh man, you guys, I can't believe it. But you are correct. So, since you guys tie, Daniel gets the win. So, awesome, man. Awesome. Thanks, Daniel, for showing up and taking your easy victory with King James copying your right answers. So, that's a lot of fun. Makes a lot of fun to put them together. But like I say, I kind of had short time. I didn't really have time to like. I usually do research and I do like a little bit trickier, But like I say, it was kind of short notice. I was kind of under the gun and had to get ready for work and everything. But I did the best I could. Like I say, it was rough, but especially doing 10 Willie quiz questions a week now. So
yeah,
I'm trying, but like I say, I hope you all enjoyed it. I just do it for fun. I try to like do a little bit of research, and like I say, I'll do some research on that to see where it came from. I just kind of grab whatever I see online, and there's a lot of scammers online. You know what I mean? You have to watch out for them. Like, hopefully they're like kicked off of Facebook and they can't be on Facebook scamming people. Because man, that'd be horrible if they just allow scammers on there to go say ACs are not outlets. Like, that'd be just horrible. I would hate to hear him.
he's always got a problem. He just wants to grab about everything, but never provide nothing.
Dude, I'm telling you, I freaking love the background with the freaking little flames, like with the little embers coming up. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, that is dope. Like, that is so cool, man. When I first saw it when I came on, I was like, oh, that is cool, man. Like, dude, no other sweet podcast has like little embers like that on their bottom screen coming up like that, But I'm not trying to give you props. I'm just trying to tell you, I think it's kind of cool. And it's like how we feel like when we're on social media all the time, just always under the fire, you know what I mean? Like always just dealing with the heat of all the haters, Daniel knows, like we have these haters come in all the time. Dude, Daniel was so cool. He texted me, he's like, dude, he goes, congratulations on your show. I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, you got your first troll. I was like, what? I was like, dude, we had that dude forever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got bagged on for going to the football game. I mean, I just go to a football game. I got bagged on. What the hell do you have to do with the team? And I responded to him after I got back. I said, "Who do you think Steve Sarkisian calls for his game planning?" I was like, "He really do? Give me a freaking break."
See what it was. I'll tell you what it was. I got it in your head. I was like, the Dallas Cowboys suck so bad for $42. You can go down on the field and call some plays. That got in your head. Now all of a sudden you think it's true. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But
I had to have
it's a lot of fun doing these. I really appreciate everyone. Thanks so much, fantasy football players. Like I say, Chatter League. If you guys really want good sports, go check out the Rising Rhino podcast. We also have friends over at Uneducated Sports. If you go over to Uneducated Sports, just ask him where PJ at. PJ is probably right on the screen, right in front of you. But it's pretty awesome that we have, all these different sports channels that jump in. Like I said, I didn't see a Rhino raid. Rhino must have been busy on halftime. Because I was expecting to see at least some of them for halftime. Then I would have known. Like, dude, 34-3 at halftime? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, they've got the Commanders playing, and they're up 21-13 right now on Cincinnati.
Boom. Oh, dude, Cincinnati's defense getting rocked. Yeah, dude, Jaden Daniels should be pretty good. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I'm up by 3 points. 3 points. Man, that Commanders. Thanks so much, Commanders, because they're just trashing the Bengals defense, and I got the Bills offense. So, Bills
Gotta
offense
keep
is
moving
crushing.
forward.
Yes, sir. But thanks so much, everyone, for all the likes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like I say, we're over like 300 something now. It's pretty awesome. Like I can't believe that we went up so fast. Like my nephew, he actually scored 2 goals on Sunday,
Mhm.
and his team won 8-0. He scored 2 first period goals, and he was our 60th subscriber, you know. And then I asked him, I'm like, hey, you want us to do more sports? He's like, oh yeah. And then it was funny because he was telling me, he's like, I really like your guys' music. So that meant a lot, you know. I was like, oh, all right. I was like, you like some metal? All right, we'll throw some more metal in, you know. And so
Yeah,
really
we're
awesome.
I
Appreciate.
just look, we're at 318 now, so it's big on before
Wow.
we get to rolling up towards 400. So
Yeah.
not bad.
So just to let you know, Adam said he will be joining on Thursday, and we will make sure we have pickle shots, and I will pull through a really good Willie quiz. I might even do Bible again. I might even go like a next level Bible. I might even go like a hard Bible one. Try to see if I can get both of you guys on it. We'll see. I mean, the whole reason I did the Bible is because Team SOS, he does Bible study on Sunday mornings, and they're going through all the books and everything, and I thought I'd get somebody on them, but like I say, dude, you must have been paying attention, not just looking at your silver bullet belt buckle in there, you know. You know, pastor like, well, that's a really pretty belt buckle. That's got the silver bullet on it and everything, huh? You know. So.
There's light.
But yeah, so it's really awesome. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks Daniel, really appreciate it. Dude, like I say, James always loves getting new Cowboy fans in here. So thanks Chris Heston. Thanks for showing up, and thanks for repping your Cowgirls since '91. Means a lot. And like I say, you know, I welcome anyone that wants to come bring some Cowboy jokes. I have no problem. I've been hearing plenty of Broncos jokes for you know, all these years. So, you know, I have no problem seeing King James get a little heat on the fire, even though he's got the #1 Texas Longhorns. Give him a hook of horns over there, everyone. You know, give him a hook of horns.
Yeah, they're going to whip Mississippi State's ass. I think they're going to.
Oh yeah,
Because they're going
I'm
to
sure
win the
Jerry
Super
Jones
Bowl.
does.
He's full
I'm
of
sure
crap.
he
too.
does.
I've been Cowboys fan since '60, so you know, since I was a little kid. So, you know, I've been there through the good times and the bad times. So, but I'm a bigger Longhorn fan than I'm a Cowboys fan. So,
Yeah, and the whole thing that's funny is Jerry Jones has been saying it's their year, and they haven't won an NFC championship since '90s. So I don't know. It might not even be their decade. You never know. But
we'll see.
we'll see. But thanks a lot, Daniel. Appreciate you giving James a little hard time there. And Daniel officially gets the win. Even if he ties with King James, he gets the win. So that's the new rule. So, you know, King James, you have to step it up. I'm going to do some research on that question. I'm going to see what happened because I went to some like website just to like get like facts, and then I based the question off that. So
Yeah.
I don't know what those facts were that they did, but maybe they were. I maybe should have worded it that are currently in the NFL or that are not an expansion team or something like that. I don't know. There has to be something I missed on it. So I'm saying it's my fault. My bad.
I knew Cleveland hadn't, but I damn sure knew that the Jaguars hadn't. I was like, I know they haven't, and I knew the Texans didn't. I was like, well, shit, it's like 3 answers there.
I want to say that those maybe there should have been like an expansion that's not an expansion team or something. I probably missed it. It's probably on me, you know. But at the same time, I got you fooled somehow, so it doesn't matter. But I'll work harder to get some better answers in the future, and like I say, I'll just spend a little bit more time doing them when I throw them together. And like I say, I enjoy it. I think everyone enjoys it out there, and it's really fun to follow along in the chat and try to stump the stalk cup.
Oh yeah.
Right?
No worries. I like it. I like trying to guess. So, all right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to watch the Commanders play.
Feel free, if you want, to message the Monday Morning Coach Facebook page. And we have the Monday Morning Coach Facebook page. You can message either me or James. We'll see them. And then we will make adjustments wherever you want. Or we'll add your favorite team. You could be a guest. Whatever you want, just message us over there. And we will get back with you. And you can be on the show or come hang with us, go talk about your team, or come in the chat, talk about whatever you want. So we really appreciate it. Big shout out to my brother Dave. Go Blue. Big shout out to Michigan this week. And as always, remember, make every day an easy day. That's all I got, brother.
Yeah. Well, we'll see y'all next Monday. Some of y'all will see Thursday. All right. Peace out, everybody. We're out of here.